a father and his little girl, disappeared under the stars. But when the snow came early that night, the mountain kept its secrets. And 5 years later, when a team of climbers stumbled on something frozen beneath the ice, no one could have imagined what they'd find. Because the truth? It wasn't just an accident. It was a cover-up. Marcus Hall, 38, was a single father from Denver. Hard-working, quiet, the kind of man who didn't complain even when life gave him every reason to. After losing his wife to cancer, his 8-year-old daughter, Layla, had become his whole world. To celebrate her birthday, Marcus promised her a weekend camping trip in the White River Mountains, her favorite place in the world. He even said, smiling, "We'll count stars together, baby girl. Just you and me." They packed their old blue tent, sleeping bags, and her tiny pink flashlight. Marcus promised his sister, Janine, that they'd be back by Sunday evening. But Sunday came, and they never did. By Monday morning, rescue teams were searching the woods. Helicopters buzzed over the icy treetops. But after 2 weeks, nothing. No footprints. No campfire remains. No tent. And that's when the whispers started. Detective Eric Dawson, the lead investigator, claimed there was no sign of foul play. He suggested Marcus had run away with his daughter, maybe couldn't handle raising her alone. The media ate it up. Father kidnaps daughter after wife's death. They turned Marcus, a grieving father, into a villain. Janine begged the police to dig deeper. "My brother would never run. He loved Layla. He loved her more than anything." But Dawson only shrugged. Sometimes people snap. And just like that, the case went cold. 5 years passed. In 2023, a team of geologists studying glacial shifts in the mountains stumbled upon something strange, a shape buried deep in the ice near the old campsite area. At first, they thought it was a collapsed cabin. But when they dug closer, they realized it was a tent. Faded blue fabric, torn in half, yet perfectly preserved under layers of frost. Inside were 2 sleeping bags and a weathered brown leather journal. When investigators thawed the pages, they realized it was Marcus's handwriting. Each page documented their trip, the laughter, the songs by the campfire, Layla's jokes about fighting bears. But the final entry was written shakily in faded ink. "We're not alone up here. Someone's been watching our camp since last night. I saw headlights near the ridge. Layla's scared. I'm scared too. I think it's the man from the ranger station. He said we shouldn't be here." The last line chilled everyone. "If someone finds this, tell my sister Janine. Tell her I tried to protect my little girl." Detective Dawson, now retired, was called in to review the case he'd closed. But when Janine saw him on TV, smiling, giving interviews about the new developments, something in her snapped. She dug into her brother's old case files herself and found something shocking. The man from the ranger station Marcus mentioned? There was no record of that ranger ever existing. And yet, there was a ranger assigned to that zone at the time, Rick Hollister, Dawson's brother-in-law. A man fired months later for misconduct and quietly relocated out of state. Janine took the journal to an independent forensic analyst who confirmed something the police had ignored, a second set of footprints preserved in the glacial sediment beneath the tent site. Adult. Male. Size 11. Heading away from the scene. When the media got hold of that detail, the story exploded. Suddenly, the kidnapper-father narrative collapsed overnight. Detective Dawson's legacy, his reputation, his pride, began to melt as fast as the ice that once hid the truth. A new team of investigators began excavating the area around the tent. 5 feet away, buried deeper in the ice, they found another object. Small, metallic, corroded. A police badge, engraved with the name Hollister. And next to it, a single human bone. Scene 8. The irony and the lesson. For 5 years, people had called Marcus Hall a coward. A criminal. A father who ran. But the truth? He had died fighting to protect his daughter from a predator in uniform, a man trusted by the very system that failed him. And in the end, the mountain preserved his truth better than the people ever could. When Janine stood at the memorial they built for her brother and niece, she whispered through tears, "You didn't run, Marcus. You stayed. You fought. And now everyone knows who you really were." Scene 9. The cliffhanger. As the ceremony ended, one of the new investigators approached Janine quietly. "Ma'am," he said, "there's something else. We found another compartment under the tent. It was sealed by ice." Janine's eyes widened. What was inside? The investigator hesitated, glancing toward the media vans. "We're still analyzing it," he said carefully. "But there's a small wooden box. And it's not Marcus's handwriting on it." Janine frowned. "What do you mean?" He sighed. "It's a child's." Her blood ran cold. "Ma'am," he continued softly, "we think your niece might have survived longer than anyone believed." Janine's voice trembled. "What's in the box?" The investigator glanced back toward the tent, his face pale. "There's a note inside," he whispered. "It says, he said Daddy wouldn't wake up, but I heard him talking to someone else last night." And as Janine clutched her brother's journal, one truth echoed louder than the wind across those frozen peaks. You can bury evidence. You can bury the truth. But you can't bury love. Because even after 5 years beneath the ice, Marcus's love for his daughter still burned bright enough to melt through. To be continued. Subscribe for part 2.